Chun-Li wins. She flashes that V sign. Light smile. Bright eyes. Confidence that never feels mean. It looks simple, but the more you watch across the years, the more you notice. Little hops in the early days, a refined flourish in the sprite era, stronger posture in 3D, subtle camera tweaks in modern games. The same message, a new frame every time. This video is a time capsule. We'll track how that victory gesture evolved, why it stuck, and how each engine reinterpreted the same idea. We'll call out the earliest pixel version. We'll spotlight a fan-favorite variant hidden in plain sight. And we'll talk about the camera debates that made people argue for months. By the end, you'll know why the peace sign became more than a pose. It became Chun-Li's signature. It became Street Fighter language. But it didn't start in a cinematic. It was born in pixels. 1. 1991 to 1994. The SF2 origins think arcades. Sticky floors, loud cabinets, crowds leaning in, Street Fighter 2 lands, and Chun-Li arrives with energy nobody had seen. She wins. And there it is, the V sign. A quick bounce, a bright expression, a vibe that says, I fought hard, and I had fun. It's playful, it's proud, it's clean enough for anyone to recognize from 5 feet away. That first version is tiny on screen, yet the silhouette reads perfectly. You can't always hear the exact voice line in a noisy arcade, but you feel the tone. It's upbeat, not taunting, not cold, joyful. That matters. Many characters celebrate with power or swagger. Chun-Li celebrates with warmth. She invites you back for a rematch without a sneer. That's rare. Then the revisions come fast. Champion Edition. Hyper Fighting. Super. Super Turbo. Each pass tightens the motion. The bounce gets snappier. The timing lands a little sharper. The hands and wrists are clearer. The smile feels easier to read. The core idea never changes. It doesn't need to. Capcom just polishes the rhythm so it pops on crowded screens. The pose also sets character identity. Chun-Li is strong and technical, but never joyless. She doesn't gloat. She beams. That contrast was clever in the early 90s. It made her stand out in a cast full of tough faces and clenched fists. It framed her as a hero who loved the fight, not just the victory. Sprites are small. Memory is limited, but the team picks a gesture that survives those limits. Clear hands, clear face, 2 raised fingers. Even in a blurry photo from an old arcade, you still know what just happened. Chun-Li won. She's happy. She's thanking the crowd in her own way. Arcades were loud, sprites were tiny, but then Capcom turned the clock back and gave Chun-Li a brighter, springier canvas. 2. 1995 to 1998. Alpha/Zero style, same spirit, new attitude. The Alpha era shifts the palette and the mood. Everything looks cleaner. Lines are soft but bold. The motion is elastic. Chun-Li's victory rhythm matches that style. The V sign is still the anchor, but the way she lands it feels lighter. You see more frames. You feel that spring in her step. The animation arcs are smooth and confident. Costume changes reframe the same idea. The training look, the tights, the different hair flow, it all changes the pose's silhouette without changing its heart. The win still reads as, I did it, not sit down. The tone is athletic, playful, a touch of anime sparkle without losing the fighter's edge. You notice something else in Alpha. The body language is balanced. The arms don't flail, the shoulders stay relaxed. There's a discipline to it. That matches Chun-Li's lore. She's a pro. She has control. The camera might hold an extra beat. The smile might be more defined. But the intent is the same. Celebrate, breathe, reset. And the best part? It all feels quick. The pose lands, it finishes. It doesn't overstay. That brevity keeps matches snappy and rewatchable. You never get tired of seeing it. Sprites had been charming. Alpha makes them elegant. But Capcom wasn't done. A new era was about to push 2D animation to a ridiculous level of fluidity and tuck a tiny surprise into the routine. 3. 1999, Third Strike, refinement and a hidden wing Street Fighter. 3. Third Strike moves with silk. The animation count is absurd for the time. The shading is careful and mature. Chun-Li in Third Strike looks like a person in motion, not a puppet. So when she wins and hits her celebration, the tone changes again. It's less bouncy, more poised, graceful. She turns. The hand lifts. The V sign clicks into place. It feels like a bow and a thank you combined. Small details stand out. The hips settle as the pose completes. The torso stays tall. The face reads gratitude, not gloating. It's the same DNA from SF2 and Alpha, now presented with a dancer's control. The gesture is friendly, but it has weight. She knows exactly who she is. Fans love Third Strike for its secrets. Chun-Li's win routine has a tiny variant that hardcore players like to show off. Hold a button at the right moment and you get a subtle change. It's not wild, it's not a joke pose. It's just a little nod for those who pay attention. That's the era's vibe in a nutshell. Polish on top, surprises underneath. The bigger story is this. The pose becomes iconography. If you swap in a different victory, the character feels off. Capcom knows this. The peace sign is no longer just animation. It's her signature. It's brand language. Only now, people wonder how it will translate when sprites give way to polygons and a full 3D camera. Sprites gave way to polygons. Would the pose survive the jump? 4. 2008 to 2014. Street Fighter IV. The 3D translation. Street Fighter IV brings the series into 3D while trying to protect the old heart. The linework shader is bold. The faces are expressive. The camera gives you angles that 2D could never show. Chun-Li's victory pose takes advantage of that space. She turns a little more. The hips shift with depth. The V sign lands in a way that reads from any side. The joy is still there. It's not a flex. It's a celebration. 4 adds tiny nuances that 2D couldn't show. A bit of eyelid movement, a clearer smile, subtle shoulder motion that sells a natural breath out after a hard round. You feel the timing more than you see it. The gesture lands, the body settles, it looks right. Squash and stretch survive in a new form. The animators exaggerate at the right moments. The hand comes up fast, the forearm stops. The rest of the body follows with a tiny delay. That's animation craft. It keeps the silhouette readable and the rhythm punchy in a busy 3D frame. Most important, the spirit stays intact. The victory pose is still light, still human, still I did it rather than I'm better than you. That tone will matter a lot when the next game plays with cameras, outfits, and presentation. The move into 3D worked. But the next era didn't just evolve the pose, it sparked a debate. 5. 2016 to 2020. Street Fighter V. Angles, outfits, and a camera debate. Street Fighter V experiments with a modern cinematic style. Different costumes remix how moves and poses read. Chun-Li gets a wide wardrobe over time. Default, nostalgia, collabs, seasonal looks. Each one changes the silhouette of her victory stance without destroying the core gesture. You still get the V sign. You still get the open, confident presence, but the camera does more storytelling now. That's where the debate begins. During development and updates, Capcom adjusts how some win poses are framed. Angles shift, height changes, certain shots become less provocative. The goal seems simple: keep the tone heroic, keep the rating happy, and keep the presentation consistent. But when fans notice changes, the conversation explodes. Some people call it a harmless tweak. Others call it heavy-handed. It turns into a chorus of takes. It's no big deal. It's a huge deal. It's the right direction. It's the wrong direction. The truth is quieter. The pose itself never disappears. The message doesn't change. Chun-Li still celebrates with grace. The frame around her evolves to match the times. Why does it matter? Because it shows how strong the icon is. Even when the camera shifts, you still recognize Chun-Li's victory beat in an instant. The hand, the face, the stance, the flourish. The wake of that gesture carries through any lens choice. That's resilience. Mechanically, V's animation is crisper than IV's launch era in some places and more reserved in others. The team learns where to place emphasis in a cinematic context. The hand and wrist get the starring moment. The rest of the body supports. That focus keeps the reading speed high. In a fast online match, you need clarity. Chun-Li's pose keeps it. The debate fades. The victories keep landing. And then the series reboots its style again. New engine, new neighborhoods, new hair physics, more poses to unlock. The question shifts from will the pose survive to how many ways will she celebrate now? Then SF6 arrives and gives Chun-Li more ways to celebrate than ever. 6. 2023 to 2025. Street Fighter 6. Multiple poses, perfect KO flourish, subtle homages. Street Fighter 6 is modern in a way that respects tradition. The lighting is rich. The cloth simulation is convincing. Faces feel alive even in quick interactions. Chun-Li's victory language levels up in this space. She doesn't get just one groove, she gets several. Between rounds, you'll see different win animations rotate in. Each one keeps her signature vibe but presents it with a new accent. One has a gentle turn and a classic hand raise. Another builds from the hips and sets the V sign late, like a final note. There's a version where the smile lingers. There's one with a slight angle change that reads like a nod to her third strike poise. None of them look like a cheap callback. They feel like natural variations a person might do when the adrenaline rush hits in different ways. Then, there's the perfect KO flourish. Win a round without taking damage, and you get a special version with extra spark. For Chun-Li, that flourish feels earned. The motion slows just a hair. The eyes soften. The arm path cleans up to a picture book silhouette. It's the same message, just turned up for the perfect moment. SF6's camera discipline helps. It favors clean framing over chaos. You rarely lose the hands. The wrists read, the face reads, hair and ribbons move with believable weight. Cloth rests where it should. All that realism makes a small gesture feel big. You sense the breath leaving her chest after a tough clash. You feel the weight shift in her legs as the stand settles. That's the level where a simple V sign looks like acting. The more you watch in SF6, the more you notice micro differences. Some wins feel athletic. Some feel grateful. Some feel playful. The game uses variety to fight repetition fatigue. That's a win for retention and a win for character. You never get numb to the pose because you never see the exact same cadence 5 times in a row. Costumes multiply the effect. Traditional, training, seasonal. Each option changes the silhouette lines and the way cloth flows around the arms during the gesture. A sleeved look makes the forearm read in one block. Bare arms emphasize muscle tone and wrist angle. Either way, the sign is unmistakable. The personality is unmistakable. And listen to the emotional through line. Chun-Li never sneers after a win. She never makes victory ugly. Even when the stance is powerful, the vibe is generous, she respects the match, she honors the craft. That consistency lets SF6 play with everything else. Camera, speed, costume, angle. You can move all the dials and still land on Chun-Li. The modern engine also rewards small head motion. A slight tilt can change the feeling of the exact same hand pose. Eyes forward reads confident. Eyes down reads reflective. Eyes sideways reads playful. SF6 squeezes those micro acts in without turning the moment into a cutscene. You get credible human beats inside a fighting game loop. Fans have pointed out soft echoes of Third Strike in at least one celebration. Not a copy, a flavor, a posture that feels familiar in the best way. It's a smart move. It tells veterans, we remember. It tells new players, this pose has a history older than you think. By 2025, after patches and added costumes, the pose has more context than ever, but its DNA hasn't moved an inch. It's still the same sentence. I did it. Thank you. Let's keep this fun. So why does it endure when so many other victory animations come and go? 7. Why the pose endures clarity, personality, memory. Clarity first. The V sign is readable at any size. In SF2, it cut through CRT blur. In SF6, it cuts through 4K detail. The silhouette is universal.
You could sketch it with 4 lines and a circle. You still get it. Personality next. Chun-Li's story is strength with grace, justice with humanity. This pose says that. It's celebratory without malice. It's warm without being soft. It balances power and kindness in 1 second of animation. That match is perfect. When animation and character align, the result sticks, memory last. The gesture is tradition now, a living logo that moves. Capcom treats it with care. They don't rip it out and chase a trend. They don't bury it under joke poses. They keep it, polish it, and let costumes and cameras remix the edges. That restraint pays off. The pose anchors you across engines and years. You always know who you're watching. There's also rhythm science here. A good victory beat is short, distinct, and loop-friendly.
Chun-Li's pose checks all 3 boxes. It's quick, it lands, it leaves. Your brain stores it like a chorus you've heard 100 times. When it hits, you feel a tiny hit of nostalgia, even if you only started last year. That's design doing heavy lifting. One more reason. It's generous to the opponent. That matters in a game where salt flows. Her pose says, "Good match." That tone keeps the community healthier than a taunt would. It's hard to get mad at a smile and a peace sign. One gesture, many errors. Let's close it out. 8. Closing recap plus button. From SFII to Super Turbo, Chun-Li's victory pose set the template. Cheerful, quick, unmistakable. Alpha brightened it, stretched it, and gave it a glossy athletic snap. Third Strike refined it and tucked a tiny variant behind the curtain. SFIV translated it to 3D without losing its heart. SFV reframed it with modern cameras and sparked a discourse that proved how iconic it had become. SF6 multiplied it, adding variations, a perfect round flourish, and tiny homages that make veterans smile. Across all of it, the message never changed. Joyful dominance, respect for the match, a celebration that invites, not insults. That's why the pose endures. It's not a meme, it's a signature. It fits Chun-Li like a glove. It fits Street Fighter like a theme song. So here's the question. Which era gets your vote? The raw spark of SF2? The refinement of Third Strike? The cinematic poise of SF6? Drop your pick. And if we missed your favorite micro detail, call it out. We love this stuff. Because sometimes the smallest gesture tells the biggest story. And for Chun-Li, 2 fingers and a smile were enough to define a legend.